Well, hello everyone. It's Ross Hamilton here, along with Tim Mai.
Hello, everybody.
Yeah, it's going to be a really, really fun training. We are on part 2 of the 4-series training. On part 1 of the training, we went over finding buyers. And I strongly advocate watching the replay of that because finding buyers is one of the single most critical parts to any real estate transaction. Being able to quickly flip a deal in, like Tim talked about last time, in 6 hours only happens when you already have your buyers. So we went over all sorts of amazing ways to find buyers, proven ways that Tim and I and all of our students are finding buyers today. And we talked about how easy it was to find deals. Oh, you just need the buyers. The deals are dime a dozen. It's so easy to find deals. Well, it's easy to find deals because of the techniques that we're going to share with you today. You might have said on the last training, Ross, I can't find deals. What do you mean it's easy to find deals? Deals are dime a dozen. I can't find any deals. Don't worry. We're going to make sure you have actually things. Actually, Tim, they're going to be finding deals before the training's over or right after the training, correct?
Right. They're actually going to learn how to find deals and how to start marketing these deals for sale today. So, yes.
It does not get any better than that. So as long as you followed your action items on part 1 of making sure you had your connectedinvestors.us account set up and you had your dodeals.com / what was it?
CI.
dodeals.com/CI?
Yep.
Okay, great. dodeals.com/CI will get you into Do Deals. Connectedinvestors.us is a secret backdoor link into connectedinvestors.com. So connectedinvestors.us and dodeals.com/CI. Okay. Make sure you have those set up. And on the training, we also gave you some action items on how to build some buyers, because had you taken action and built your buyers list, after this training, when we show you how to find deals right now, you could theoretically be doing a deal right now tonight. Okay? So let's, here you go. Make sure to write that down. Thank you, Tim. There you go. So we'll leave those up for you for a little while. This way you know where to go, because you're going to need these accounts to automate everything we're talking about here tonight. Okay. Tim, how to quickly find and flip deals. You are the undisputed expert in this area here. There's no one who can find and flip a deal faster that I've ever met. So let's just deliver quality content for the next, I don't know, until we're done.
Right. And hi, everybody. I am excited to be here with you all today, and we're going to have a lot of fun today. We have a lot to cover today. There's like 5 different parts we're going to be covering today. And it's both on how to very quickly find deals that are already out there, and then how to turn around and market them for sale and start start marketing them to your buyers list that hopefully you had compiled from our training last week. And so with that, let's get started here. All right. First, what are the type of deals? There's many different types of deals out there, but the type of deals that I want to talk to you about today are called wholesale deals. And what a wholesale deal is it's a deal that's being offered by another investor, by a wholesaler. And from last week, you learned what a wholesaler is. And so whenever another investor has a property that they are trying to sell the contract, trying to assign the contract, or it's a property that they're trying to sell cheaply, as is, where is, then that's a wholesale deal. Okay, a retail deal, of course, is something that somebody had fixed it up, remodeled it nicely, and selling to a homeowner who's going to move in and live in it. That's a retail deal. That's not the kind of deal we're talking about today. What we're going to be talking about today is wholesale deals. And what makes a wholesale deal an ideal deal? An ideal deal is that you see, when you're working with homeowners, what you have to do is you have to market to that homeowner, and this is what a wholesaler does, okay? A real estate investor who does wholesale deals. What they do is they market on the internet for homeowners, or they or they send out direct mail for homeowners, and they have to talk to these homeowners, get the deal negotiated. They have to go out to the property, look at the property, and decide if it's a good deal, get it under contract, and then turn around and resell them. So that whole period of time, they probably spent up to $3,000 to get that property under contract from all of their marketing and all of the time that they put into it. Okay, and now they're getting ready to sell it. And what I'm about to teach you today is how to shortcut through that, where let them do all of the hard work, all of the front end hard work of getting that deal under contract, and then you're going to sort of cheat your way to success here by contacting them when they have this deal to wholesale, to offer for sale, and ask them to let you also market this property to your buyers list that you had compiled from the last training that we did. Okay, so now you don't have to go through weeks or sometimes months of finding these deals, getting it under contract, spending all these time and money. You're going to shortcut your way through that by looking for specifically wholesale deals that other investors already got under contract and are offering to sell. And you're going to find these deals, and you're going to help them sell these deals. I'll give you an example of how this thing can turn out. I have a student she's in Tampa, Florida. And so I had her do this homework of finding wholesale deals and market it for sale. Well, she hit a jackpot, and this can very well happen to you as well, right? She contacted this wholesaler for just one deal. Well, it turns out this wholesaler had over 20-something deals, because this wholesaler is very active in buying oil properties as well as auction properties. So it's one of the bigger wholesalers. And the wholesaler agreed to let her market those deals to her buyers list. And so now everybody wins, right? And you can think about it this way. If you were a wholesaler, okay, if you were a wholesaler and you have a property that you're trying to sell quickly and you want to get rid of it as quick as possible, would you like to have, other people, an army of other people out there helping you market your deals for sale, and you all make money? Okay?
That's a rhetorical question.
And so that's what I'm teaching you today is, how to leverage other wholesalers, deals by tapping into a deal that they already have, and a deal that the wholesale that they already have available for sale, and ask them to let you market those deals to your buyers list. Now, I'm going to teach you in a little bit here on how to use a flex option to control those deals, so that way you have the quote-unquote legal rights to market a property that you don't own to sell it. Okay, but just to give you sort of the general idea of that. Ross, do you have any comments on this before I move on?
Well, Tim, I liked how you explained it, kind of the shortcutting. And, you're shortcutting getting a deal, flipping a deal fast, and you're able to leverage your time a lot more efficiently because you're not wrapped up on one deal. You're building your buyers list up. While you're building your buyers list up, you're going to meet other wholesalers. If you know how to effectively communicate with these people, and you know what you want them to do for you, and understand how much of a win-win this really is, it's really going to speed up your path to profits. And this is the techniques we're going over right now really, really, really helped me get up and running. And
right.
I'm really excited to be showing this to you guys.
Right, and for some reason, there's nobody else teaching about this strategy out there. But I can almost guarantee you, if you talk to any seasoned investors, especially seasoned wholesalers, what they would do if they were to start out brand new again as an investor to start wholesaling deals, what would they do? And they'll tell you, like, this is the exact thing that they would do. But they never think about teaching it like this for whatever reason, right? And if I was to start real estate investing again, this is exactly what I would do from day one. And I'm sure Ross is the same way. Yep. And that's because this is like the fastest way for you to start doing deals, start making money on deals, and at the same time you're building your buyers list. You're getting your experience, your exposure. Everything is happening because you are now in the middle of a deal, at least a deal, or in one of my students' cases just recently in Tampa, where she's now in the middle of like 20-something deals. And she's like she's a brand new investor, hardly know what wholesaling is, and things just start to happen really quick for her. So this can happen to you as well.
I always like to point out, Tim, I always like to point out real quick the stuff that we're talking here. We're going to be talking a lot about residential, but these techniques work for residential, commercial. It doesn't matter what area of real estate you're in. This technique right here is actually exactly how I got into commercial, because I didn't have $2 million to do my first deal. I just got in the middle of a few people. It's exactly how I got into residential. And you become all the investors in town. You become their best friend, because you're hooking everyone up. And let's keep rolling. It's a great technique. It works for everything. So let's teach how to do it.
And now I'm in the middle of a $5 million commercial deal with this exact same thing that you just talked about right now. Yeah. Where all I did was I put the wholesaler and the buyer together. And so yes, it can totally work for residential or any real estate deals for that matter. All right, so first thing first, what you want to do is you want to go out there and you want to find all of the wholesale deals that are available out there on the internet, or at your RIA club, or wherever you can find wholesale deals. You want to start with that. Okay, so I'll show you here. You guys can log into your due deals members area and go to the leads wholesale deals here. Okay, and here I'm just looking at all the deals that are here in Houston, but you can change your market area here and change it to whatever market area you want to change it to. For just to save time here, I'm not gonna play around with other market areas, but you can go in here and look at any of these deals, right? Any of these deals, and find out who's the wholesaler behind it, and find out who's the wholesaler behind it. Contact them. Okay, their phone number, if it's listed, the email address if it's listed. Find out their contact information number and write it down in a notepad somewhere for now. Okay, you can also, beyond the wholesale deals here, you can also go to our internet leads tab over here and click on Fixer Wholesale Deals here. The difference is that the wholesale deals that you see here in the wholesale deals link are deals that other investors post directly onto our website. Okay, and the internet leads are leads that we get from Craigslist, but we have a software that goes through Craigslist and find out all of the wholesale deals, fixer-upper type deals, and list them here for you. Because if you go on Craigslist and try to like browse through this yourself, it's going to take you forever to find these deals. And so Craigslist is very powerful in the sense that it has a lot of leads, but it's kind of useless unless you have a good way to filter those leads down into just the ones that is going to make you money. Okay, and so you go into here and you look for wholesale deals, okay, in any type of wholesale deals, fixer-upper type deals like here, 3-bedroom investor special, for example, right? And so you would select that, and you call up this person and add, or email them, either way, whatever you're comfortable with, and find out about the deals that they have available for sale. And you're going to contact them in a little bit here. I'm going to teach you that. And then,
hold on, Tim, man. That is, go back to do deals real quick, man. I just want to, we have a lot of resources for you guys, but I just want to make sure all my Connected Investors members understand. Look how powerful this is. It's just right at your fingertips. You just click, boom, here you go. Leads, boom. And Tim, you can do this virtually too. If you have buyers in other zip codes and other areas.
Correct.
Because
yeah, you can, yeah, definitely you can do this in anywhere pretty much in the world. So
sometimes I run across some really real deal investors, but they're not in my darn town. But with this right here, I just maintain a relationship with those investors that are, an investor in, I don't know, any area across the U.S. I can literally just find them some deals and flip them some deals in L.A. from North Carolina, if that's where they want to buy.
Correct.
So,
you certainly can do that, and we have a lot of students that do that. They don't invest in the same area that they live in, or they don't flip deals in the same areas that they live in. I would like for you to see if there are deals in your area first, especially if you're starting out new. Find out if there's deals in your area first. If there's none, then you can move out of your area into other areas. But if there are deals in your area, it makes it easy because you can it'll speed up your learning curve, because you can go out there, you can look at the property, walk around, take pictures, looking at the repairs. You can meet up with the wholesaler, take them out for lunch, take them out for coffee, pick their brain, start to really network with these people. Same thing with your buyers, because this is a very relationship-based business. These wholesalers that have deals for sale, they're not going to just have deal this one time. Every single month, they're going to have a new deal for you. And so you want to build relationship with these people, so that way whenever they have a deal, they contact you up, and so you can start marketing the deal for sale. Okay, and so, but yeah, you can find, you're certainly not limited to one area. You can find deals all across the U.S. And then another site that you need to log in to find out is Connected Investors, and Ross, I'm going to let you lead this one.
Yeah, Tim, you can just kind of slowly scroll down the page here. You'll see right inside Connected Investors, there's all sorts of wholesale properties posted. Need a New Jersey. Look, this person right here, I need a New Jersey wholesale deal. If you have a buyer lined up, boom. This person's looking to buy a deal right now. There's all sorts of stuff going on down here. If you look to the bottom left of the page, you'll see a new wholesale property. Underneath the REI notifications, Tim, if you can scroll the mouse over there, you'll see some new wholesale properties pop up constantly right inside the site, and it's just, whenever you log in, you just see deals just right in front of your face. And then, whenever you guys have some time, you can also click on the search tab, and I'll let you guys play with this, and you can search for wholesalers in any zip code. Okay, so just whenever you jump in, we don't have time to go over that now, but you can just click right on investors and just do searches for wholesalers in any area across the U.S. So if you're an active investor, you might even see your own picture in there when you do a search. So have some fun searching around, and between due deals and Connected Investors, you're going to be able to do this pretty easily from anywhere.
Right, and this is one of the reasons why I love what Ross and I are doing. We put together the two most powerful resources you can ever find to start doing deals and start making money in real estate. you know, if when Ross and I started, if we had these resources available, man,
Yeah.
you know, well, number one.
That's why we built them, because we needed them.
Right. You know, and I'll just share with you just something, you know, a little bit fun. But my first 6 months in the business, you know what I was doing? I was out there door knocking on pre-foreclosure houses every single day, rain or shine. I was out there door knocking 20 to 30 houses a day. And you know how much work that was? Jeez. And how many doors I got slammed in my face, and I mean, and hot, you know, the heat, because, you know, here in Houston it's really hot during the summertime. It was tough. It was tough. It's not nearly as easy as what Ross and I are making it for you now. And so you guys are very blessed.
Yeah, technology's come a long way. Tim and I had similar stories. You know, I was door knocking on doors, and I was really young, so I would pretend I had a boss. And I'd be like, oh, my boss wanted me to come by and drop off this information. And remember, this one guy was like, you can tell your boss he can shove that information right up his, and I'll let you guys fill in the blank there. But that was, we were motivated though, huh?
Yep. Yeah, and so you know, so I mean, you know, we have to do the hard work of going out there physically, hustling out on the street, and we made it extremely easy for you with the websites we created, and so do take advantage of that. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. All right. So moving on here, you can also go to Craigslist directly and search these keywords to find these deals as well. It's just there will be more you know, this is more manual work here once you start to use Craigslist and Backpage and eClassifieds. But I'm just giving you other options out there. There are other websites out there that have these deals. It's just that it's more time consuming and more work you have to do to browse through in finding these deals. But they are available to you. Okay. All right. Moving on here, I am going to go to part 2 of this. So what you want to do next now that you have looked through and you found all of these deals and compile them, what I want you to just put in the name, the phone number, the email address in like an Excel spreadsheet of type, and you're going to start to contact them now. All right. And so first, I want you to send an email to them to say, hi, I'm emailing about your wholesale deal. Is it still available? Can I have your phone number so I can call you on it? Assuming you don't have the phone number, of course. And were you going to say something, Ross?
No, that's perfect. That's perfect.
Oh, okay. All right, and then you're also going to call them. I want you to get used to, I want you to get used to calling people. If you can. Because remember, this is a very relationship-based business, and people would be a lot more open to talking to you will be a lot more open to talking to you and doing business with you and let you market their properties for sale if they have met you in person or if they have talked to you over the phone, a lot more so than if they saw your email. Okay.
Yeah.
So try to overcome your fear of the phone if you have any, and just call people up and talk to them. They're not going to bite you or anything like that. So you have nothing to lose. And so go ahead and do that. But here's what you're going to call. What you're going to say when you call these people. Okay. Hi, I'm calling about your wholesale deal. Is it still available? I'm in urgent need of some properties right now because I have several cash and landlord buyers that are looking for deals. And so I'm contacting the top wholesalers in town to get some deals sold quick. And if you, and I put in parentheses here, if you already have buyers in place and you know specifically what your buyers are looking for, you can share with these wholesalers. So you can say, hey, my buyers are looking for 3-bedroom, 2-bath homes in that area, and that they can rent out for, say, $1,000 a month, whatever specific thing that you want to share with them. When you start talking things that are more specific, then these wholesalers will know that you are a player, that you are serious and you've done your homework and you really do have buyers looking to buy, and they would be more willing to work with you, okay? And then you also want to ask them, do you have more than one deal? If they do, that's great, okay? And ask them, what's the least you would take for this deal? If they have several, then ask for the price for each one of them. And then the reason why you asking them right here, what's the least they would accept for the deal, is so that way you know what you need to, you know how much you can mark up on top of that to sell it to your buyers. For example, let's say I'm a wholesaler, and I'm marketing my deal for $50,000. Okay, I'm just using it as an example. And Ross came to me, or you came to me, and says, "Hey Tim, I noticed you have this wholesale deal. What's the least you would accept for it?" And I said, "Well, the least I'll take for it is $45,000. That's like the absolute least, right?" And so then, and then you can tell me, well, would it be okay with you that I'll mark up the price and I'll sell it to my buyer, for $50,000, and I'll keep $5,000 as my fee. And I'll be okay. Well, that's fine, because like I said, the least I'll take is 45. So anything you can sell for more than 45, then you can keep it for yourself. Or if I say the least I'll take is 48,000, then you can say, and you say, okay, well then I'll mark it up to 51,000 or 53,000. And so whatever you mark up on top of whatever is the least amount that I would take, it's fine with me. I don't care how much money you want to make on the deal. If your buyer's willing to buy it, then great. We'll both make money. Because of course I'm not going to sell it to you for 45,000 if I'm not going to make money on it. So most wholesalers, when they're trying to wholesale their deal, they normally will have anywhere between $10,000 to $15,000 in profit margin built into that price. So you know that price is negotiable, okay? Unless they just come out and tell you, you know what, I've dropped the price a couple of times already, and I'm only going to be making $3,000 on this deal, and so then you know that they don't have a whole lot of margin on it. But typically speaking, there's a $10,000 to $15,000 margin that they mark up on their deals. Okay. All right.
I like this next sentence, Tim.
Right. Yeah. So you say, can I market your deals to my buyers? It won't cost you anything, and you have to very specifically tell them this. Okay. The reason why it's not going to cost them any money is because, remember, whatever price that they told you is the least that they would accept on it, you're just marking it up from there, okay? And so you say, it won't cost you anything. I'm just going to assign it to my buyers for $1,000 to $3,000, right? And the reason why I'm using a small number here is just so so that way they don't think I'm gonna make a killing off of this. But of course, you're just saying this is a range. Doesn't mean that you can't mark up for more than this. You certainly can say, I'm just going to assign it to my buyer for $3,000 to $5,000, or whatever the case might be. Okay. Yeah. All right. And so this is where the flex option comes in.
This is the line I like a lot.
Okay. Let me send you a little agreement that will give me the permission to market your deal to my buyers.
I like the little agreement. It's like
a little agreement.
That's great. That makes it sound so like that's awesome. That's a great little word there.
Right. And you don't want to, at this point, you don't want to confuse your wholesaler with a flex option or anything like that yet. So just call it a little agreement, okay? Because most people don't know what a flex option is, and I'll explain it to you in a little bit. But it's nothing more than a little agreement that's going to give you permission to market their deals for sale. Okay. And you can tell them you can continue to sell your properties like normal. If my buyers buy before you have it sold, great. If not, we'll sell them on your next deal. And so, what's your email address? I can send you, the agreement. All right. So that's what you're gonna. That's the next thing you're gonna say to them. And what a flex option is, let me explain this to you. First, before I explain what a flex option is, let me explain to you what a contract is. Okay, in real estate, when you want to buy a property and the seller wants to sell your property, and both of you agree to buy and sell, and both of you are committed to buying and selling, you get into a contract with each other. So the seller is obligated to sell, the buyer is obligated to buy. If either party default on that contract, then the other party can sue them for non-performance. So let's say you get into a contract with a seller and you don't perform on your contract, the seller can sue you for non-performance. So that's a contract. What a flex option is it allows, the seller agrees to sell you the property and you agree to buy the property. However, you as the buyer have the unlimited rights to terminate this agreement anytime you want. All right, so if you just don't feel like marketing it anymore, you can terminate this agreement, okay? And the seller, they can terminate this agreement if they sell the house before you do, okay? So that way they can continue to sell their house, which wholesalers, they don't want you to tie up their property because they have a deadline that they must get the property sold and close on their contract, otherwise they lose on their deal. And so they can continue to market their properties like normal. And with a flex option, you now also have the right, the legal right to market that property for sale. Okay?
It's a real win-win.
Right. It's a very win-win situation. I mean, it's, yeah, in any wholesaler that you talk to that knows what you're talking about, that understands what you're talking about, would be all over this. Okay, and to get your flex option, you just log into your due deals account, go to bonus right here, and scroll down a little bit, and oh, not bonus, forms and contracts. Scroll down a little bit here, and look for the flex option to purchase wholesale. All right, that's the form that you want to use. Okay, flex option to purchase wholesale. Right there. Let me do this. There we go. All right, so that's the form you want to use on these deals. There's many ways you can use a flex option. I'm not going to, I'm not going to teach about that in this training because we're limited on our time. So I just want to teach you how to use flex option on wholesale deals for now. Okay. All right.
That is really, really nice right there. It's a real big win-win for everyone involved. There's only an upside for you. You build a buyer's list, you can blast it right out to your buyer's list using some of the tools, that we're providing you throughout these trainings. And if someone's interested in your deal, great. If they're not interested in your deal, you aren't out there spending hours negotiating the deal, putting all sorts of money down, marketing down. You just contacted a few wholesalers. I'm pumped.
Right, exactly. All right. All right, so here are some tips for you guys here to overcome your fear. Because, one of the, I guess, here are like two major reasons why, people don't do this and don't take action on contacting these wholesalers. Is because they either have fear of talking to people over the phone because they don't know what to say, or they have fear of people rejecting them. Right? So I wanna use this, to help you overcome some of that fears, and I'm sure Ross has some of his own tips as well. For example, overcoming the fear of calling. You can do what Ross did, which is instead of saying that this is for him, he said, hey, my boss sent me out to do this. So you can say, hey, my boss told me to call you. All right? So using third party as the, sort of as the good cop, bad cop type of thing is a very easy way to get into conversation with somebody. Or you can say, my partner, told me to call you about your wholesale deal. Okay. One of the things that I do to make it easy is I look at everything that I do as nothing more than a test, like an experiment. So when when I'm calling these people, I don't think that this is a deal that I'm calling on and that I must get this deal. The way I look at it, if it's something new that I'm trying to learn or trying to build a habit for, I just say to myself, like, look, I'm just practicing. I'm just experimenting. If this deal comes through, if this deal comes through and I make money, great. If not, it's no big deal. I learned something from it. I'm just practicing. I'm just testing it out. I'm just experimenting on it. And so that helps me a lot in overcoming my fear of calling people. You have comments on that, Ross?
Yeah, and because we're showing you how to get dozens and dozens of wholesalers to call up right now, it's not like you're spending. I can understand being nervous if you spent $4,000 on a mailing campaign and you're talking to your first person, you have a lot of money on the line, but with the things that Tim and I just showed you, you can literally practice for next to nothing. And if you're really worried about it, you can use third party. I use third party for like 1.5 years because sometimes people will ask you questions and you don't have the answer, and you can say, let me talk to my partner. I'll get right back with you. I'll get right back with you. You don't have to have all the answers. What if they ask this? What if they ask that? Playing third party worked for me for a while. When I was 20 years old when I was doing it, so I was trying to gain credibility, but it helped me get over my fear of people rejecting me because I was really young when I was doing it. So, absolutely. And Tim,
yeah, exactly. And so use whatever you can. Your partner, you can even say your spouse. Hey, my spouse got a whip, and she's gonna whip me. She's gonna give me a really good whipping if I don't start calling and start making money on deals, right? So make it funny. But
what if you're a woman? What if you're a woman? You say my husband's going to beat me. I don't know if I would use.
Oh, well,
that.
that wouldn't go well. But if you're a guy, then using that would just be funny, right?
It's more socially acceptable.
I'm just using it as just to make things funny here. I don't mean for you to actually really use that, but just keep in mind, like I said, that you're just practicing, and so look at it that way. And also, too, a lot of these experienced investors, if you tell them up front that, hey, I'm still new at this, I'm still learning this, but I'm very aggressive, I'm a go-getter, I'm a hustler, I'm willing to hustle and get your deal sold. If you work with me, I guarantee you, or if you work with me, rest assured, I'm going to get the deal. I'm going to get the deals close so we can both make money. And so it's okay for you to let people know that you are new. It's okay because these are other investors. They can tell whether or not you're new very quickly. And so it's okay for you to come out and tell them, like, I'm starting out. However, I'm willing to hustle. I'm willing to do whatever it takes to make this deal happen so we can both make money. And I know when investors tell me that they're new, I never mind that, and a lot of time I would even help them, because a lot of investors like myself, we like helping other people, and Ross is the same way, because we've been there, we've been where you're at, and a lot of these investors are the same way. They have been where you're at. They at one point in their life they started out brand new, and so they don't mind helping other new people. And so it's okay to let them know that, okay? And the next fear that people have is the fear of rejections, of feeling like, well, what if these wholesalers say no to me? And I don't know who said this, but it's one of the best sales training that there ever is, right? And that is, who cares? Right? Some will, some won't. So what? Who's next? Right? And so that means that some people will say yes to you, and some people will say no to you. And from your perspective, it's like, oh, if they say yes, that's great. I'm going to make some money on this. If they say no, that's great. That just means that I'm getting closer to my next yes. And so one of the ways to help you overcome the fear of rejection is put this in your mind. Just say, if I call, and I'm using this number sort of I mean, your success rate is going to be much better than this, but I'm just going to sort of pre-frame your mind for this. So when you get rejections, you know you're getting closer to a deal. So just think that for every 10 wholesalers that you contact, one of them is going to let you market the deal for sale. When you get really good with this, you're going to get more than, for every 10 that you contact, you're probably going to get like 7 or 8 will say yes to you. But since you're starting out, I'm just going to use real conservative numbers. And so if you have talked to 9 wholesalers and they've all said no to you, now you can tell them, great, I'm glad you said no because I know that my next one is going to be a yes. Right? Every time you get a no, you know that you're getting closer and closer to a yes. And so that's one of the ways that I help myself to overcome rejections and my my students to overcome rejections. Ross, you have any tips on this one?
I mean, it's such a win-win deal. If especially if you're worried about rejection, maybe you don't have any buyers built up yet, and focus on building up your buyers list. But it's just such a win-win deal for the wholesaler. It's funny because in my whole career, only one person ever said no, and I remember that person because I was shocked. I was like, really? Oh, okay. And then later on, I found out that this was actually a very unethical investor, and
gotcha.
it was, so it was very, very. The universe has something in store for you, and it's such a win-win deal. But yeah, 10% is a great number to go off of, and just the people who do take you in are going to be really high quality, and you'll learn a lot from them.
Right. Like I said, I'm using 10% there as sort of your baseline for you to get started. But as you get used to this, and you get going, most people will say yes to you. That's why Ross was shocked when he got a no. Okay.
Yeah.
And so
still remember that because it was the only no. It was the only no I ever got.
All right. Okay. Let me see here. So I already explained what a flex option is. Next, I want you to, I want you to follow up with these people. Earlier, with the script, you sent out the email for the flex option for them to sign the flex option, and so now you're going to follow up with them because a lot of time, these investors, they're busy. They're out there doing deals, and so they might not be able to respond to you in a timely manner to get the flex option signed. And so just follow up with them until they do. Call them up, email them, and if you live in the same town that they do, meet up with them. Say, hey, can I meet you at the house to look at the property? Meet up with them, get to know them, take them out for coffee, whatever the case might be. I mean, the more you're willing to hustle, the more you're willing to be out there in front of people, talk to people, the higher the chance of you getting a deal done and making money from it.
And Tim, I just want to bring up something real important that you said there. He was basically talking about being persistent, and it's okay to be persistent. The first person that I worked with, I had to probably follow up with 20 plus times before I started working with them and doing my first $1 million in real estate. And I'll get phone calls from some people in my area. They'll call me one time, and then that's it. And then I get some people that call me over and over and over again, and I'm like, finally, we do a deal. Okay, you have to be persistent. I read a stat that it talked about how over 80% of all sales were done after the 5th contact.
Right.
So you call up someone one time, it's a step one. You have to call them at least once. But I just want you to know that to really build those relationships with people, relationships that can lead to doing thousands of dollars in your bank account or even hundreds of deals, you're going to have to follow up more than once. Because people,
right.
Wholesalers are busy because they're working their rear ends off.
Right, exactly.
So make sure to follow up. Be persistent. Think and Grow Rich, one of my favorite books. One of the chapters is on persistent, and one of my favorite quotes is, if you are nothing but persistent, you'll be successful. So.
Wow, that's a good one. I didn't catch that when I was reading that, but that is really, really true. I mean, nothing beats persistency, you know. And I've hired people because they were so persistent. I've dealt business with people because they were so persistent. I said no and no and no, and they keep on coming back. And it's like, you know what? This person is a hustler. I'll work with them. And so, you know, so yeah, persistency is a really good habit for you to start, you know, establishing, start practicing, and so do that, okay? And you know, and yeah, and so make sure you follow up with these people. Now, some wholesalers that you contact might say, well, Tim, you know, or whatever. I mean, I'm saying Tim as if I'm the person calling, but they'll tell you, like, hey, look, I'm okay with you marketing my property to your buyers, but I'm not going to sign anything until you bring me a buyer. Until I know for sure you have a buyer, then I'll sign it. When that happens, then it's going to be a judgment call from your end. Okay, you know. For me personally, I would do it anyways, especially if I'm just starting out, and you know, especially if I'm just starting out and I want the experience and stuff. However, just keep in mind that technically it's not legal for you to market a property that you don't have under contract or under an option, okay, or under some type of agreement that you can market the property for sale. And so so keep that in mind. And so so whenever they say that they won't sign it until you have a buyer first, until they know for sure you have a buyer first, then the ball's on your court whether or not you want to proceed with them. And if I were you, what I probably would do is I would continue to call, and then I will market the properties of the wholesalers who are willing to sign the flex option for me, and market those deals first. And then from marketing those deals, I'm going to have more buyers, and then if the buyer's not interested in the property that I'm marketing, then I'll tell them about the other property from the other wholesaler that's not willing to sign the flex option yet. And just let them know about it. But I would not be like actively marketing the property for sale. So I'm giving you some options here.
And Tim, especially if you have a once you have your buyers list built, on the first part of the module here, once you have your buyers list built, your confidence is going to go up kind of high. And if a wholesaler came to me and said, well, I'm not going to sign anything until you bring a buyer, I'd say, listen, I have over 250 active people who are looking for investment properties on my list. I have a lot of time, energy, and effort building that list. And all I have to do is click one button, and I'll bring you a few buyers. Let's just go ahead and get this contract signed. It's like, come on, guys, come on. Whoever has the buyer has the power. And if you have a buyer's list you've been building, you can be a little confident because maybe that wholesaler just got the property under contract yesterday and they think they have it sold. Like Tim said, let them sit on that property for 30 days and they still don't have a buyer.
Yeah.
It's
yeah. If the older the wholesale deal is, the older the lead is, the more motivated these wholesalers are. Wholesalers are some of the most motivated sellers you can find, because they have a timeline. When they get these property under contract, they only have about 30 days or so, sometimes just 2 weeks, to get these deals sold and close on so they can make money. And so they're very desperate to sell these houses, a lot more than you are to sell these houses.
Yeah.
So they'll work with you, and yeah, like Ross is saying, it's all in a matter of how confident you are at your ability to bring them a buyer. And so just be confident, and if you're not confident, just fake it.
No. fake it till you make it. You know what that really means? The saying fake it till you make it means act the way you want to be, and one day you'll be the way you act.
That's correct, and it is very, very true. Okay, there's a lot to say about fake it till you make it. Act, because you first have to do the things that the successful people do in order for you to be successful.
Perfect.
Yeah. All right. So next we're going to move on to part number 4 here. And part number 4 is about how to start. Now that you contacted these wholesalers, you got them to sign a flex option. Now let's talk about how you're going to sell these houses quickly, so that way you can get paid from these deals, right? And so first thing first is emailing out to your buyers list. So hopefully by now you have gotten a list of buyers that you compiled from module number 1 that we taught you, and the list of buyers that you compiled through your Connected Investors account as well. Okay.
And Tim, while you're writing that out, whenever you upload a property into Connected Investors, you can literally just check one button and blast your buyers list. So it will automatically email all of your buyers for you, and it will send them a high converting property package. You can upload videos if you have them, documents, appraisals, all that fun stuff. So
right. So so don't just keep your buyers list on an Excel spreadsheet. Go ahead and upload them all to your Connected Investors account, and and so that way you can send out an email from there. All right. And same thing too. You can also email to the landlords that from your due deals account here as well. All right. So you go back to the landlord leads here. Start to email out to all of these landlords that you see on here as well about your property.
And then we even talked about the cash buyers sending out the postcard. And
right. Yeah, we're going to talk about the offline stuff in just a little bit here.
All sorts of great stuff, guys.
Right. And then what you also want to do is you want to go ahead and upload that wholesale deal that you have to your duedeals.com account. So just go to duedeals.com/wholesale. Upload it to your connectedinvestors.com account as well. All right. So get it out there to as many places as you can. All right. Go ahead and run your ads on Craigslist as well. Okay. And here's an example of an ad that you can run here. Fixture upper. ARV 100,000, asking 50,000, and here's some details that you can say on the property. And so make sure you use the word cash in your ad because you want to attract cash investors and not the normal homeowner that's going to get a loan on the property. Okay, and so or you can I'm just giving you these sample ads that you can run here for your deal. And upload the pictures as well when you run these properties. So a handyman special, ARV 100K, you're asking 50K. Same thing that you can do on Craigslist, you can also do on Backpage.com, on eBayClassifieds.com. You can also post it on Postlets.com as well. Postlets.com will allow you to create a flyer for free, and they will also post out to like 14 different websites out there on the internet for you. It's a great little free service that you can use. Okay, so just get it out there everywhere that you can find, get it out there. And if you have if you belong to a REIA club, a real estate investing club that has a website, go ahead and upload it to their website as well, the classified section of their website. And I know not every club has a website for their members to post classified ads, but if it does, then go ahead and take advantage of that. Okay. The purpose here is, man, just blast it everywhere. Okay. Ross, you have any comment on this one?
A lot of times what I like to do is once I have a good buyers list of people that I know are serious, I'll treat them a little special and right before I blast it out to everything, I'll send them a text message and say, hey guys, listen, in 48 hours this is being blasted out to my buyers list of 2,000, this, that, and whatever, but I want to give you advance notice of this property because, and it's a good way to build a relationship with your serious people, and sometimes you can get the deal sold with a text message.
Right.
And you put that, you have to have, Tim, the important thing that I did there is I put the urgency stating that you got 48 hours to do something on this deal, or I'm blasting it out to 50,000 people and it'll be gone in a split second. So it's a good way to build a good relationship with some serious people.
Right.
Yeah, text message, phone call. I mean, I just use text message as an example, but it can be a phone. It can be, pick up the phone and personally call some people. Be like, hey, Tim, what's up, man? It's Russ. I just wanted to let you know. It's a great way to build a relationship. Email them directly, from your main email address. This way you make your real buyers feel real special.
Right. Yeah, exactly. And it's funny because I guess you're younger than me. You probably use text a lot more than I do. But yeah. I've only not recently, but about a year ago, started to really using text, and I still don't use text that much. And I know with the younger generation now, I mean, they're like texting like crazy. But what I was trying to say is that most of my wholesale deals were sold when I call my VIP buyers.
Yeah, VIP.
And this is how I've sold most of my deals. And so yeah, focus on your VIP buyers because they are the ones that are gonna buy most of your deals.
Hey Tim, what makes someone like a VIP buyer? Like, let's say someone knows a bunch of investors already. How could they kind of classify a VIP list?
Right. Well, a VIP buyer for me is, number one, someone who I know is a proven repeat buyer for other wholesalers or have bought a property from me. Right. And so that is like, if they are a repeat buyer, if I know that they're a repeat buyer, then that's what classifies as a VIP buyer for me.
Exactly.
The second thing that classifies a VIP buyer is that they, through fee referrals or whatever the source is, and they tell me, hey, I have $100,000 cash or however much cash that they have. I have cash available to buy. I'm not flipping these properties. I'm not using hard money lenders or private lenders. I'm using my own cash to do it. That also goes into on my VIP buyers too.
So you have number one, people you've done deals with before or have done repeated deals.
Right.
For a fact. And then you also have those people, and what Tim just said there happens to me all the time. People are like, hey, I have $100,000, I want to buy a deal. And I'm like, okay. That will happen because when you're in real estate, you need to tell everyone that you're in real estate. Tell everyone you know. They'll tell people, you'll get random calls, random referrals. And another person that I put on my VIP list is after you blast, let's say you have 200 people on your buyers list. After you blast it out, the people who respond to you and start getting the ball rolling, maybe they, just bought a deal and don't have money, or if they got the ball rolling with you, if they're like, hey, I like that deal, those are the people that I would contact. I'd put them on a VIP list as well, and maybe even contact them after the deal was done and say, oh, that deal, sold real fast. And those, because if they respond to you, they're interested.
Right. Exactly. Awesome. So yeah, definitely, text your VIP buyers, call them, whatever you're comfortable, and I really like this idea about Ross, about letting them know that that you're gonna give them 48 hours head start before you blast it out to hundreds or thousands of your other buyers, and so that that gives some urgency to it.
You can say that with confidence because you can literally put your wholesale deal in front of thousands of people just by uploading it to Do Deals and Connected Investors.
Right. No
You're not
kidding.
lying. It will be in front of over 10,000 investors the second you hit that post button. And, you post it here, post it there, so you're not lying when you're telling your VIP list. But all of the money you will make in your lifetime and your destiny is determined by your VIP list.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. This is how you get rich. All right. Okay. So here's some extra things that you can also do as well to get it out there even more. Go ahead and upload the. You can go to this website, which is free for you. Slideroll.com, where you can upload pictures of your property, and it'll create a slideshow video for you, or you can even use Anymoto.com as well. I think I spelled it right. Did I spell it right?
Yeah, it looks right.
Yeah, I forgot what the spelling is, but
you guys can Google it; it'll pop right up.
Right, and and it's it allows you to create these free videos using your pictures of the properties. So you can upload it to YouTube, and send, so that way when you are running these ads and posting it on Do Deals and Connected Investors, you can also post your YouTube link as well, so people can watch your video about that property. Okay. You can also post this, and you got to be careful with this, because making sure that you belong to these groups and you communicate with them and you follow the rules of these groups before you post these deals on there. But find other real estate investing forums that are out there, other Facebook groups that are out there that has to do with real estate investing, MySpace group, Yahoo, Google, Meetup group, any group that has to do with real estate investing, just making sure you follow their rules and guidelines, but let them know about your property as well.
Absolutely. Plan ahead with those Facebook groups too, people. That's something you can just do in your spare time. And you can just do, when you're writing Facebook, you can just do a search for real estate investing, your city name, and just find all sorts of resources. And just join them ahead of time. And this way, whenever you get a deal, you can put it in front of a lot of investors that way. Right,
all right. And, it might sound like I'm asking you to do a lot of different things here. I'm just giving you a lot of options. So depending on your availability of how much time you have, it could very well be that you just do these things here, and that's and that's all you're going to do, and you get the property sold. Okay, but if you have more time, go ahead and not only post it on Do Deals and Connected Investors, but post it on Craigslist. Do as many of these as you can. Gives you more chances of getting your property sold. Right? Or if you have a virtual assistant, you can hire a virtual assistant for like $2 an hour, and they can do these things for you. Like, I certainly don't do these things myself, and I know Ross doesn't do these things himself. We have assistants that do these for us.
The only thing that I do myself is I maintain my relationship with my VIP list.
Right.
I don't trust to anyone, and it's really relationship oriented. But all of the postings and stuff like that, you got 20, 30 minutes, boom, you can blast it out. But Tim is absolutely right. And Tim,
right.
I mean,
Exactly.
you said you're having them do a lot here, but you're just basically showing them. But you're saving them a million steps in the front end as far as getting the deal from the homeowner or the bank or whatever, and negotiating a stupid short sale and all that stuff that takes forever. And then you're saving them a million steps on the back end when you're talking about having to rehab a house and deal with contractors and pay a mortgage while you're trying to sell. So he's cutting out like literally 50% of real estate. So this stuff right here literally amounts to 5% of, not even 99% of what you should be doing to flip deals, but this is the shortcut stuff that we're talking about.
Right.
This is the fast track to success here, guys. And while you're doing this, you're building your relationships. Your relationship building is on autopilot because you're helping the investors in your town, and you're getting the active investors excited about your deals. So you're spending most of your time on the most important part of real estate.
Right. And when you get really good when you get good at this, you can dominate any town you go into, and you be the guy that all of the wholesalers go to get all of their properties sold. And so so get really good with this, practice this, get really good with this, and this is the reason why. This is like the value that you have to bring to the table for other wholesalers to work with you. So they do the hard work on the front end to bring the deals, and you do the easy work on the back end to get the deal sold, and together you both make money. You see how that works? All right, and so
Sam, that word value that you just said is super important, because a lot of starter investors don't think they have any value. But that's not the case. Okay?
Right.
That's something that maybe we could add to the front section. You know, fear of not having any value. What could I possibly do? You can do a lot here. Okay, you're filling in the missing pieces to puzzles that people are desperately trying to complete.
Exactly. And you know, think about it. Whenever somebody has a property they want to sell, what is the one thing that they want the most? To find a buyer, right? Okay, to find a buyer, because without a buyer, they're not going to be able to get their property sold. And so if you are an expert at finding buyers, then you have a whole lot of value. You are worth a lot of money to these people, to these wholesalers, to these sellers. And that's how we make a lot of money as an investor, is because we have the ability to get those properties sold quickly. We have the ability to find the buyers and get the property sold quickly. And so that's why we make a lot of money. And so just get really good at it. All right? Okay, moving on. Let's talk about how to get properties sold quickly offline. We talked about online earlier. And so if you are investing in this, you know, in your own market area, then you will be able to do the offline stuff. If you're doing this virtually in another area, then you might want to either skip this part, or you can find somebody like a bird dog in that local area to do these offline marketing for you. Okay. You know, as I mentioned in module number 1 about signs. Signs is one of the most powerful way to sell houses. For whatever reason, signs just work really well. Maybe I shouldn't say powerful, but yeah, it just works really well. It has always worked well to sell houses. You know, like I said, the only thing with signs is that in most cities it's illegal, or it's against the city sign ordinance to put out signs in public places. But if you remember in module number 1, I teach you how to put in private places on vacant houses around the neighborhood, so that way it's completely legal and the sign won't get on your case about it, and every single buyer who are driving that neighborhood is going to see your signs, and you know, and you'll be able to build a really strong targeted buyers list for that specific neighborhood. And you might be able to find deals, you know, might be able to get deals from it as well. And so, so put out 20 signs for each house that you have, and here's some language that you can put on your sign. You know, fixer upper for sale, value at $100,000, asking $50,000 cash, your phone number, or your website address if you have a website. Okay, you know, however you want them to contact you. And for sale signs, I like to do handwritten signs, You can like literally handwrite. You can go and buy blank signs or buy neon color poster boards and handwrite it. Handwrite the signs yourself, or you can find a company that will print these signs for you in handwriting fonts. So it looks like a handwritten sign, but it's but it's actually printed. For me, because each property kind of you have each property, the numbers are different in terms of the value and the price and stuff. For me, I just have somebody to write all of these, like literally handwrite these signs for me. And so that's what I do. What about you, Ross?
I've done a few different things, and the handwritten signs, I've done I've done handwritten signs, and I'll put balloons on them.
Oh wow, that's a good idea.
I went as far as to put balloons on the signs, and I'd put them on telephone poles, all sorts of different stuff. The balloons got a lot of attention, but they run out of helium after a while, and then it looks kind of sad. But yeah, no, handwritten signs I like. I mean, it just depends on how many you're putting up,
Right.
I've actually handwritten a sign with value and asking blank, and then had a sign company print them up, because if I was going to get 150 of them, it was cheaper to do it that way and get it professionally printed than it was for me to go and buy the ones and do it myself. And so it just depends. Your first time, go to Office Max, do some handwritten ones, throw them up there. Once you see the amazing results they get, just go to a place, have them print out a bunch, and I had like a square, like a big square, and I would have them cut a big fat triangle out of it, so I got 2 signs per. I mean, the signs worked so well, I was doing all sorts of crazy stuff. So signs always work, and if you see signs, Tim, what do you think they should do when they see a sign in their neighborhood that's not them?
Right. Definitely, write down that person's phone number, because chances are they have a wholesale deal that you can market and get sold. Or they might have buyers for your deals too.
Exactly.
Because they are out there actively marketing, and so work together. In this business is so important. Just work with other investors, and together you guys can make a lot more money than working on your own.
I always love when I see a new phone number on a sign like this, because I know that is even if that investor might not have any money, they might just be wholesaling other wholesalers' properties. I know that there's a lot of value in speaking with them. They have a lot of leads coming in, and they are persistent. And I want to work with persistent people, because I know when I get a deal, I can call them up, and they probably just talk to 5 people that day.
Right, exactly.
So get their numbers, and save them in your buyers list. So
exactly. All right. So I have some tips for you as you are driving these, as you are putting out signs on vacant houses in these neighborhoods. I want you to write down all of the addresses of those vacant houses, and you're going to then log into Due Deals, your Due Deals account here after you're done, and you're going to go to this more and go to this instant owner tracker tool that we created for you, and put in the once you find the name of the homeowner from the county appraisal district, you put in their name, okay, and you'll be able to very quickly search from all of these different search engine, skip tracing engine like whitepages.com, zabasearch.com, Anywho, People Finders, Yahoo People, Switchboard. So very quickly you'll be able to search from all these different skip tracing engines to find their phone number, and you're going to call them up and offer to buy their house. Okay, vacant houses are some of the most gold mine type houses that you can find out there, because the homeowners, they don't want it anymore. Okay, and it's just sitting there vacant, and nobody is marketing to these homeowners because these homeowners didn't run an ad anywhere. And so when you track them down, you're the only one talking to them. You're the only one making an offer on them. And so,
earlier we were talking about doing things the hard way. My first job with my mentor was to drive around and look for houses that looked like they need to be bought. That was it. That was my only job description. And then I had to find the homeowner, get them on the phone, and set up an appointment with an investor in them. And every deal he bought, he'd give me $500. So he was pretty smart. He was leveraging my time and my motivation. But I did not have that little tool that you just showed us.
Right. Well, I didn't have it either when I was doing this.
So, I mean, it's just so easy. You see a vacant house, you plug them in. You're not always going to get the number, I'm sure, but you're going to quickly and easily be able to figure out if you can find the darn person, and you can hire a private investigator if you're that worried about it, but that costs money. This is great. So simple.
Right.
So
this is extremely simple, efficient way. I developed these tools for my virtual assistants because in the beginning when I was doing this, I didn't have these tools. And when I started to have virtual staff and stuff, that's when I started to develop all kinds of these tools for my virtual assistants to use. And then from there I was like, hey, if my virtual assistants can use it, then it'll be a good idea for my students to use it. And that's how we made it available for our students and our members to be able to use it. So make sure you guys take advantage of that. But I mean, vacant houses is how I made my first $1 million in real estate, is all through vacant houses. And so I'm a pretty big fan of vacant houses. All right. So also, as you're driving, write down all of the for sale by owners and for rent by owners as well, because these people will also want to sell their house. For sale by owner, especially if they've been trying to sell it for a while and they haven't sold it yet, then maybe you can give them a good offer, or ask them, hey, if I can pay you all cash and close quickly, what's the least you would accept? And so give them an offer on.
You'll be surprised. You'll be surprised. It's when you're calling up the for sale by owners, some people are just over leveraged and they can't do anything. But you will find it's a 2-second phone call, and I've got deals with over $50,000 in equity. Worked out fun seller finance deals, all sorts of stuff, simply by calling a for sale by owner. So it's simple. It's a habit. It takes 2 seconds, and you never know. You never freaking know until you call.
Right. So. Exactly. Yeah, I get a lot of owner financing type deals by calling for sale by owners.
Yeah.
So so if as you get along here and you follow the training that Ross and I give to you, not just in this webinar series here, but beyond, as you're a member of our websites and stuff, and we give you other training, you're going to learn more creative ways of making deals work. And owner financing is one of the best ways to buy houses in today's market. And I do a lot of owner financing type deals by calling for sale by owners. Mm-hmm. And so it's a very powerful strategy that you're going to learn as you move along here. And also
I love
for rent by owners.
I'm sorry. I just saw what was coming up next. I have a great story. Keep going.
Okay. Same thing with for rent by owners. There are 2 things that can happen with for rent by owners. You can call them and say, hey, I noticed that you have a house for rent. Are you interested in buying more properties? I have a property that I desperately need to sell, and it's in this neighborhood, it's in this area. If you would be interested in buying it, and if they say no, then ask them, hey, would you be interested in selling your property? Because I'm always looking for properties to buy as well, because I'm in the business of buying and selling houses. And so the cool thing about for rent by owners is that they can either become your buyer or they can become your seller. And so, so do contact them as well. So go ahead, Ross, your story.
Well, no, I was actually, I'm just going to, can I segue into look for properties being remodeled?
Okay, then you go ahead and lead that then. That's cool.
Yeah, looking for properties being remodeled. I remember I was, I didn't even realize this myself. I was remodeling a property, and this guy was driving around, and he would cut lawns. And anyway, so the lawn was looking really bad. He saw me remodeling the property. I was out there with the contractors. He came over to me. He starts kind of interviewing me. This guy winds up being one of my best dogs in my life. He found me. He knew I was buying and selling properties. He cut my lawn for free that day. kept calling me, asking me what I was looking for, would do anything I asked him, and we wound up doing at least 20 properties together.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so looking for properties being remodeled, when someone is remodeling a property, there's a good chance they're going to want to remodel some more properties, right, Tim?
Right, exactly.
So why don't you go into that?
Yeah, and I mean, it's just like, you know, it's the same mentality of someone who's trying to rent their house. If someone who's renting their house, there's a high chance that they're in the business of renting out houses, of buying houses, fix them up, and rent them out. If someone who's remodeling their house, there's a high chance that in the business of buying property, remodeling them, and reselling them or renting them out. And so, you know, there's I think Anthony Robbins said this, but they said success leaves clues, and what that means is that if you want to if you want to do something, find people who are already doing it. Find out where they hang out. Find out what they're doing, and get into that, and then you'll be able to you'll be able to do the thing that they do. And same thing here is that you want to sell to buyers who's going to fix up the house and rent it out, or who's going to fix up the house and sell it retail. Then figure out where they at, where they're running their ads, where they're fixing up their homes, where do they go to buy their materials. Find out those information and be in that environment, and you're sure to find your buyers, your very targeted buyers. And so, yeah, like these buyers that you find that are remodeling their homes, they need to go on your VIP buyers list, because remember earlier I said VIP buyers list are people who are proven to have bought some properties.
Tim,
and so if they're remodeling, they are proven to have bought a house.
I just want to make sure the word remodeled might need to be rehabbed.
Okay. Yeah.
I don't want people calling up people that are like fixing their kitchen.
Right. Okay.
Or putting a fence up. Yeah, when you see those houses that are being turned over, fixed up and flipped, it's a junker, and you see someone ripping the porch off and all the windows are out and it's stripped down to the bare bone. I mean, that is whoever bought that house is worth hundreds of thousands of dollars to you, potentially, because they are buying, fixing up, and selling retail, which means since you're buying really cheap, they'll probably even pay you a little more than the average person would. And Tim said it, they are your VIP buyers list. They are proven. They are doing it right now. And as soon as they sell that property, they're going to need another property, because there's a chance they're going to try to 1031 that money into another property. So as soon as they sell that property, you know they're looking for another property. You know they have a lot of cash, and that's a VIP buyer right there.
Right, exactly.
Wow.
All right, moving on here, flyers. You know, we talk a lot in the last module, module 1, about networking with people at your RIA clubs, with people at Meetup. Go pass out, create flyers and pass it out to everybody that you come in contact with. Every investor that you know of, go ahead and pass out your flyers. And so just let everybody know about your property, and just market the heck out of that property.
Yeah, there's no reason to show up empty-handed. I mean, these, like Tim said earlier, we're giving you a lot of things right here, but what's going to happen is you're going to be riding down the street the day after tomorrow, okay, and you're going to see a house being rehabbed, and you're going to be like, oh man, You're going to pull into the lawn, and guess what? If you see that house being rehabbed, it's even good because a lot of times it's just going to be the guys rehabbing the properties. It's even good to get their phone numbers because now you know some guys that rehab some properties, and you can get your investors hooked up with them. You know,
Right.
You're building all sorts of different lists. But these are going to click for you whenever you're driving down the street and you see that for sale by owner and you've drove by it 1,000 times. Next time you drive by it, you're going to pick up the phone and call, make them an offer. Maybe they say yes. That's exactly it. Or maybe you take things to the next level and you're driving, you live in a city and you're driving by an apartment complex that's being rehabbed. And you're like, let me do some digging here. You start talking to a few guys. You do a little search down at the courthouse, figure out who owns it, jump into Tim's little handy tool, find their phone number, call them up, ask them if they're looking for more apartment complexes. Last time I was in Connected Investors, I saw 2 people selling apartment complexes. You contact them, get it under contract with a nice little agreement. Was that your text, Tim? A nice little agreement. You go right to your buyer who's proven, and you get in the middle of a big deal. Same thing. Doesn't matter if the deal has 1 zero or 100 zeros. It's the same exact thing, and it all has to do with your confidence, depending on what area you're going to go at. But this has just been, this is not Swiss cheese training here, Tim. This is nothing left out.
Exactly. Yeah, and so we Ross and I wanted to arm you with everything that you need to go out there, start doing deals, either your first deal or your next deal very quickly through what we're training you. So not only we taught you everything that you need to know here, we've also provided you with resources that you need, from our websites and stuff. And so, so your homework that you need to do, okay, if you haven't already done it, all right, let me put here homework, okay. If you haven't already done it, make sure you sign up for your accounts. It's connectedinvestors.us or dodeals.com/CI, okay. So that way we know when you go to these specific links, because like if you go to dodeals.com and sign up, you're going to have to pay $97 to get started. But when you go through this link, you can get started. Your first 30 days is only $1, okay? And so, so it's both of these are like backdoor links for you to use. So if you haven't done that already, go ahead and do that, okay? And and start accessing these resources and start implementing what we teach you today, okay? And hopefully by now you have already built your buyers list. If not, start that from Module 1, right? And in Module 1, your homework was to to find at least 10 cash buyers. All right, and so your homework here in Module 2, okay.
And Tim, while you're writing that out, I just want to bring up that maybe they watched Section 1, Part 1 training, and they didn't really understand why buyers were so important, but now they probably do because they're
Right.
starting to see where it all comes. So if you have to review training number 1, please review training number 1 again, because now you're like, oh gosh, yeah, I do need buyers. Okay, let me review that real quick. So, there you go. If you've not reviewed it, review it. We'll make sure everyone has the links, to all of the replays and stuff like that. So no worries. And Module 2's homework, Tim, you're telling them to find at least 10 wholesalers with current deals. And
Right.
this is super important. These people, will turn into repeat customers, repeat buyers for you, and could potentially turn into to mentors and lifelong friends. I know. My couple of my wholesalers were at my wedding. I mean,
That's cool.
because we talk every single day. We do deals together. So, Tim, do you want to add anything to that?
Yeah, and talk about networking. What I did when I first got started was whatever money I could find, I tried to invite as many of these wholesalers to lunch or to coffee as I can, or to just meet somewhere, and that's how I start to build a relationship with them, and start doing deals. In the beginning, I told them, I was like, look, I'm willing to bird dog for you. Even if you can just pay me $500 on a deal, I'm fine with that. And so that's all I did, was just building relationship and referring these people deals. Like, I didn't know what I'm teaching you guys today. If I knew what I'm teaching you today, I wouldn't make $500 as a bird dog. I would go and get their deal and market it and make $3,000 to $5,000 or more on the deals. But yeah, I mean, build relationship with these people, extremely important. And and so make sure you do your homework. And when you're talking to these wholesalers, just remember that it doesn't matter whether or not you're going to do this one specific deal with them. Just know that you are in it to build a relationship with them, to do deals with them for for life, for as long as you stay in this business. And so think about it that way. What you're looking for is, you're looking for a friend, a mentor, a friend-tor, someone who's going, someone who you're going to be working with in your real estate business. And and so make sure you do that. Make sure you do your homework for both of these modules. And on the next module, we're going to talk about private lending. How to find private lenders, find private money. So it's make sure you make sure you attend again on next Tuesday for that training. That's all I have for now, Ross. Do you have anything else to add?
No, I'm not talking to them until they do their homework.
Good idea. All right, people. So go out there, do your homework. It's very simple. If you log into Connected Investors, or not log into your Due Deals account, you'll be able to find your 10 wholesalers very quickly, and start talking to them, start emailing them, calling them, texting them, whatever makes you feel comfortable. Start building relationship. Start doing deals. I want to hear I want to hear you guys tell us next week that that you got a deal under contract and now you're marketing it for sale. I wouldn't be surprised at all that by the time we talk next week, somebody on this call would have already got a deal and already have it sold, and possibly even got paid from it already. I've worked with plenty of students that from the time that I talk to them and start teaching them to the time that they actually close on a deal within 2 weeks or 3 weeks is very common. And so, so do that. These deals happen very quickly because, like I said, you're shortcutting your way to success here. I mean, you're not having to market to the sellers from the very beginning. The deal's already there. You're just gonna get the permission to market these wholesale deals and sell it to your buyers, and you're done. So with that, I want to thank you so much for being on this webinar and and tuning in here. And I look forward to both Ross and I look forward to teaching you more next week, and look forward to hearing about your success so far next week as well. So, all right. Well, thank you, everybody.
Do your homework.
Do your homework. Bye, everybody.
Bye.